Hey y'all, hey, it's me, Portia O, your host of Life Be Lifin podcast. And I'm here once again with another episode and installment of Life Be Lifin podcast. Welcome back. I am so glad to be here. Today we are talking about how your girl over here is still showing up toxic. Still, okay? I can't believe it. I really thought I made a lot of work. I'm still on the struggle bus. But that's okay. That's okay. That's what we're here for, to experience this thing and really try to figure this out. So let's get into it. I just want to welcome everybody for coming in. If this is your first time, welcome to the Life Be Life podcast with your host, Portia O. And on this podcast, we talk about how life be over here, life in us via all types of relationships, situations, and everyday things we are experiencing, all while in real time healing and learning how to be a better human being. So if that's what you're about, you are in the right place at the right time. Okay, shout out to you. So we're gonna jump right on into it, okay? With my first segment, I got some questions, y'all. Y'all know I stay with the questions because I am Miss Inquisitive. Anywho, first question: what does your toxicity look like? Again, like I always tell y'all, these questions are for me, but also for you. So feel free to write them down as I say them. Okay. Next question: when do I realize I'm operating in this vein? Child, most times when it's too late. God damn it. Next question: why am I still behaving this way? That's what I'm really trying to figure out. Like, girl, get it together. And the last question: how do I change this? Okay, listen, we gonna figure it out together because that's what we do as the village. All right. And speaking of the village, my next segment, Life Be Liking Us All. Okay. Hey, the village. This is where I have you, my listeners, my friends, my family, submit news, topics, and other things that you may request for me to talk about. Okay. Okay. So let's get into it. So, next segment, did you know? This is the segment. If you didn't know, that's okay because your girl is here to tell you something I know or have recently learned. Okay. So, y'all know I'm pretty fact based, right? So, I wanted to come in to this episode with a definition. I feel like the word toxic and toxicity just be thrown all up and about around these parts these days with everybody. Everybody will be like, you toxic, you toxic, he toxic, she toxic, everybody's toxic. Your mama toxic, your daddy toxic, everybody. Okay, things may be true. Also, I still feel like we should do our due diligence as a people, right? To research stuff on our own and really figure out what's going on. What does that mean? Okay, when I think of toxic or when I hear toxic, I think about The Simpsons, right? I grew up on The Simpsons. Me and my brother loved that show. And Homer, the dad, worked at a power plant. And so they always showed the black and yellow sign to show that this thing is toxic, or it may have like some X's like bones or something like that, like deadly, like a skull, something like that, right? That's what I think of when I hear that. I'm like, oh no, I don't want no toxic stuff near me, no green goo that's gonna pollute me or kill me, essentially, right? Right? Y'all know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I think about when I think about toxic or toxicity. Okay. And who wants that? Nobody. Just like at that power plant that Homer worked at, they all put themselves at risk at all times just to make it another day in life. They have to make a living and all that stuff. But we do the same thing. We'll tolerate toxic behaviors and toxic people, situations, and things just so that we can make it another day. And I understand some people, i.e., children, don't have no real weight or decision in that, but a lot of us do. And we be so caught up in bloodlines, positioning of folks in our life, and things like that, that we allow ourselves to stay stagnant and tolerate the toxicity. And the toxicity levels may be off the chain, off the chart, and we still sit there and expose ourselves to it. Do you know how dangerous that is? And not only expose ourselves to it, we be over there touching the green goo, doing all the things, and it be getting inside of us. Ooh, it starts to manifest inside of us. It saturates us. And then we start to carry that around and go spread it to a new group of people. It's toxic. I mean, and most times it's not done out of a place of knowledge or it's done out of a place of ignorance. Thank you, Lord. It's done out of a place of ignorance because you don't know no better. And if all you've ever been exposed to is toxicity, toxic environment, that's all you will be able to replicate. You see what I'm saying? Like it is really, really bad. But we gonna get through it. We're gonna figure it out and we're gonna work through it. Okay. So anyway, let me get back to the thing again. So according to Webster's dictionary, who put it so plain and simple? Okay. The meaning of toxicity is an extremely harsh, malicious, or harmful quality. That's what I just explained. Um, Extremely harsh. Like it will corrode you if you came into contact with it. Extremely harsh, malicious. It's the malicious intent for me. Like it's meaning to overtake you. It's meaning to decompose you, to tear you down, to minimize your existence, your territory, your mass, and or a harmful quality. It's very harmful. It's not helping nobody. Anybody that comes into contact with something toxic, it's not helping you, but it's helping you in the sense of, ooh, I know I can't, I can't deal with that. I can't touch that. I can't. It's teaching you a lesson in that way. I will hope so. But most, like I said, most times it's passed down. It's given to us. We're used to being in the environment. And so it's not ringing a bell to us that this is abnormal. We think it's normal. And so it feels good. It feels familiar. It feels like this is what's supposed to be going on. But in actuality, it's not. And when we do get our bearings and recognize that we are showing up in a toxic way or we've been exposed to toxicity and think it's normal, and now we know it's abnormal, we still choose sometimes to still operate in that space. Well, they did it to me, so I'm about to do it to somebody else. Or, well, this helped me be who I am today. So now what? It ain't no big deal. But it is a big deal because you're unhealed. You are out here spewing your harmful chemical everywhere because you didn't do the necessary work to heal, to rid your body of this malicious, harmful quality that is harsh, extremely harsh in corrosion, like just eating away at you. It's such a um it's a very, very bad space to live in, when you feel like you're being eaten alive. This is once you gain the knowledge, right? Because again, some people think it's normal and they look at people that don't operate that way like something wrong with you. You're the problem. Because you're trying to do something different. I don't know what that is. Never done that before. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going on to the next segment. This is just my life experience. Okay? Emphasis on the my. Please don't come to me because this is my life and not yours. All right? I titled this, I'm showing up toxic still. I can't believe after all of the work that I've been putting in that I am still showing up toxic. Now, I want to be clear, okay? I am not showing up as toxic as I may have been before. I am very much more in tune with me. But what I've come to realize as of lately in recent events that I've been privy to is that no matter how much in tune I am with me, and this is how I operate, right? Okay. There's a situation, something's going down, something's going on, and your girl be over here like, okay, boo 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 boo. Let's evaluate this thing. Okay, we looking at the full picture. We ain't just looking at your little part portion. We're looking at the full picture here. Okay, so I look over here. I see that. Okay, yeah, I did show up this way right here. Okay, over here I did this. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. All right, over here and then okay, yeah, boom. That was that was really a them thing. Okay, cool, Portia, you right here. Okay, cool, cool. Like I'm looking at all the things and I'm inspecting me and really acknowledging how I'm showing up in these moments. Instead of pointing fingers, I'm looking at the full thing. Well, maybe because you said this portion, then that triggered them. And then if that triggered them, they didn't know how to respond because they're not used to nobody, triggering them in that aspect, or they are used to somebody triggering them in that aspect. And they didn't expect that from you. So maybe you should have been more sensitive to the situation. Maybe you should have been more attentive to what they were saying, even though they weren't saying it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I always can look back at me in these scenarios, right? But also because I am flawed, okay? I don't see everything. I am not all seeing. That's God, not Portia. Okay. So I don't see all of the things, even after I evaluate and do some self evaluations of one self in situations and scenarios. I don't see all the angles. No matter, I might have hit most of them, but there still may be something that that person that I've had this encounter with or whatever is seeing or receiving. Now, I'm not saying that every time something comes up and if a person tells me something that that's the way that they receive it and that's right. No, because some people can just be projecting. Some people can just be like, well, I just want to see some flaws in you and I want to see the wrong in you. So I'm not even going to acknowledge my bull because I'm a hyper focus on you, right? And I think that's where your discernment comes in. I think that's where your allowing God to speak to you and through you and help you process that comes into play instead of you just taking somebody's word and carrying that weight of their word and internalizing it, right? Okay, I that's what your girl do. Okay. I've been doing this since a kid. I'm still trying to process um, and do some shadow work about why it is that I internalize everything anybody has ever done to me. I never look at that person. I'm not going to say never. Forgive my words. I rarely look at that person and be like, you caused this. And if that is my stance, at the end of the day, I am still internally like, even though you did this to me, I allowed you to do this to me. Therefore, I am at fault. I am forever at fault. And I'm like, Portia, well, why do you feel that you're at fault? I'm at fault because I feel like I'm stupid. I'm stupid for allowing you to treat me this way. I'm stupid for giving you access to me. I'm stupid. Like, and then I just go down this whole uh telling myself how stupid I am. And now the focus has been off of that person and whatever action they have done, because now I'm hyper focused on me and my shortcomings and my flaws and how I fucked up. You know what I'm saying? But I'm working through that. I'm working through not taking things personally. I told you guys that before, about the four agreements. And so, if that's one of the questions I ask myself, could this have happened without you specifically, Portia? Yes, it could have. Okay, so that eliminates a lot of other questions that I would have internally, because it really wasn't about me. It's about something that they're going through in this moment or whatever, right? So we're working through why I internalize everything. I'm gonna get to the root of it one day. The Lord is gonna reveal it to me, but I'm still working through it. Okay. I have things I have recently found out and kind of been known about myself. I'm gonna list. This is a major thing. It's a buzzword for me right now. Shout out to my girl Blossom. Child, this baby got me saying this about me and everybody else. But the truth is, it really is a lot of personalities out here. But anyway, what I've recently found out or was able to put words to, I think I knew it, but I just was able. This word was I am extremely avoidant. Again, for those people in the back, I am extremely avoidant. I avoid. Okay. I'm sure many of you can relate because it's a less struggle. Okay. To deal with things and face things head on. And I know some people that feel like they be out here, I'm ready. I'm ready to go to war. I'm ready to fight. You ain't gonna do me. Boop, 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 boop. Like, I get it. I get it. It's a defense mechanism. But even within that defense mechanism, you're avoiding. Like, me and my friends would be talking and be like, the fuck? Like, you're still avoiding. Okay? You're avoiding your reality. You're avoiding. Let me give you a definition before I go all off into it. Okay? The avoiding or avoidance, the definition is the action of keeping away from or not doing something, okay? Relating to or denoting a type of personality or behavior characterized by the avoidance of intimacy or social interaction. Your girl definitely be over here avoid every freaking thing. Social interact, like what? What? You want child get anxiety because I'm avoidant. If I have to go somewhere and I may know one or two people, but I don't know the majority of people. And so I get in my head thinking about it and I'm like, oh God, no, I don't want I'm gonna avoid that situation. And even though I ain't really never used that word or the terminology before, but I'll be like, yeah, I'm not going over there and doing that because for why? I don't know the people. I don't want to sue them people, and I ain't even really that comfortable around them. So, I mean, they ain't never did nothing to me before, but it's just like, I don't really want to go. I want my best friend to go. If my best friend can't go, then I probably don't want to go because I don't want to, be uncomfortable. I don't want to, and then it's like, girl, why would you be uncomfortable? Why? You know these people. You may not know everybody there, but you don't know everybody most places you go, right? You're bound to run into somebody that you don't know, somebody that don't know you, or whatever. Everything is a risk. It's unpredictable. You can walk into a coffee shop today and you've been there every day for the last 3 years, and then this one day something big happens. You cannot predict the future. You cannot. control all environments. And that's partial me still trying to control stuff, right? Because it is an unpredictable situation, then I'd be like, well, I can control me. So me won't be there. Okay. But also I'm willing to risk me if my best friend comes. Like make that make sense. Then both of us at risk. Both of us gonna be out here. Like what? Girl, I'll be over me sometimes. Anywho, but yeah, I am extremely avoidant with social interactions and intimacy. Child, I was just talking the other day about intimacy and how, as a woman, because this is my experience, right? I'm a woman. I only can speak for me. Okay. How, as a woman, most times in sexual or intimate situations, that I have felt that I did not have control or a say, and I kind of had to go along with the get along, even if I was uncomfortable, even if I didn't like something that was happening. I had to kind of like bridle my tongue and sit there and endure for the sake of one, potentially my safety, two, me being uncomfortable. Like I didn't, even though I was already uncomfortable, I still didn't want to have a conversation about my uncomfortability. Like who does that? So you're gonna just sit here and take pain. You're just gonna sit here and be feeling this discomfort and not enjoying yourself because you're afraid to say, "Hey, that hurts. Hey, I know you think that feels good, but it doesn't." Like, what are we talking about? Like, we're grown. It's so it's so much information out here at our fingertips, and we just sit here and allow ourselves to be misused, abused, and manipulated, and all the things because somebody told me that I had to. Society said that this is your role. You don't have a say. You just please, please, please. That's what you do as a woman. But also, just like God created you to have all those sensations and nerve endings and that powerful feeling, He did me too. He didn't leave us void. Like, child, I ain't here to do a sex education, but I'm just saying, like, if you really want to learn and figure out some stuff, and even in the Bible, baby, they wrote it out. Okay, Songs of Solomon, like, come on. But we avoid, hello, we avoid those things because that doesn't fit in man-made criteria or definitions or defining of what that looks like. So as a woman and man, okay, but we can be avoidant in these areas of intimacy because don't nobody want to be rejected, don't nobody want to feel bad, don't nobody, you know what I'm saying? Instead of educating ourselves and learning how to please one another properly, we would rather avoid it altogether and act like it never happened when we all know it happened. But that has been me. That has been me on many of occasions. And I think I shared that recently. I never really felt safe with anybody intimately. Like I just realized that fully. Like I thought I felt safe, but no, in actuality, I really never felt safe. Even with my spouse. I never really felt safe. I was like, oh no, this is the absolute no for me because I don't know. I can't trust you. How you gonna say you can't trust somebody with one part, but you can trust them with your body? Like, what are we talking about? Like, and again, this is still speaking on intimacy, right? But I never really felt safe. I never really felt safe. And the fact that I never really felt safe and was unable to speak up for myself is toxic. It's giving toxic. Like, girl, why would you keep being around and indulging in activities with your person and not feel safe? Why did you feel like you didn't have that voice to say those things? Is there a level of unworthiness into play? Trusting? What? Like, and you need to address these things. And it's so funny. I can't remember. Let me see if I can find it on my phone real quick. My one of my sis had sent me this picture the other day, and it was asking questions about you met your younger self and you're allowed 3 words. What do you say? I said, please keep it. And my sis said, keep what? And I said, my virginity. And I stated that because I feel like a lot in my life changed at that moment, and I was unprepared for that change. I wasn't fully developed mentally, physically, emotionally enough to handle such things. And yet I did it, and I've regretted it since. Now, when I say regret, it's not that I regret my current circumstances, right? But I feel like had I been more honest and open and stop being in such a rush and avoiding the judgment of my peers and others and avoiding dealing with my low self-esteem and my self-worth, avoiding pick me, pick me, pick me. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't avoiding that shit. Being left behind or whatever. Like, why do you care? It's not even that serious. This is not what God has for you, and you will be just fine. Like, just wait. Wait on the Lord. And I was like, no, I'm gonna do what I want to do because I feel like that's what I need to do in order to feel fulfilled. But yeah, if I go back and tell my younger self, I would be like, please keep it. Please keep it because so many people have mishandled you and you thought it was love. You thought it was good. You thought it was what it was supposed to be. And you had no clue. No clue. And you really didn't have a clue as to how much it was going to open you up to this world of more pain and suffering. So yeah, there's that. It's hard for me to deal with things because I would rather avoid conflict. I would rather avoid hurting someone or getting hurt by someone. Again, defense mechanism. So I'm gonna avoid. Okay, I'm gonna avoid being hurt, and I'm gonna avoid hurting you because it's easier. But the actual thing that is taking place is it's not. It may seem easier in the moment, but the reality is really, you know what I'm saying, feeding that avoidance. You're giving it more power and more strength, and that's not what is necessary. That's not who God has called you to be, right? Jesus tried to avoid the cup in the Garden of Gethsemane when he saw all the sin in the cup. And what he do? He asked the Lord first and foremost, can I not do this? No? Okay. You you sure? Well, the time is nigh. Listen, he still did what he had to do, but had he avoided it? Mm, yeah, no. I recently had another situation with a close friend, and I was just like, this is it. Once I let things pow up for me, then I was ready to pop, right? Which is also still a toxic trait of mine, right? Because why are you not addressing things? I would consider myself an over communicator, and yet while I'm over here running my mouth all the god dang on time, um, I'm not running my mouth about the things that matter, i.e., my feelings. And so I find myself in the position of avoiding telling someone how I really feel or how I'm receiving what they're giving to me. And now I'm in a pickle. I'm in a pickle because I'm being forced to address this thing because God is working on me and my toxicity and helping me heal. He's forcing me to address things that are difficult and hard for me typically because I have such an avoidant personality. I really thought I was going into this friendship like, girl, you better now. You're so much better about picking your people, your tribe, your whatever. You're not gonna allow foolishness any longer. You got rid of those other folks. Now you over here. Period. Gonna be with like-minded people. You're gonna be in alignment. And all of that was true. But what I didn't say was, Portia, you're going to stand up for yourself. You're going to be vocal about when you're uncomfortable. You're going to do what you never really did before now with these new people and circles and things, okay? Yeah, I didn't so much do that because I thought I had it. I just knew I had it. And then boom, I did it. And it took almost a year. That's the craziest part about this particular thing. And I told myself when I was ready to explode that, see, I tried differently. And this is just an example of how my toxicity is still prevalent. Therefore, I need to rid myself of this person because they are bringing up my toxicity. And this is the last toxic relationship that I have. And in actuality, it was a true statement, but I needed to fully expose Portia. Okay. The toxicity was already exposing, I was exposing myself to the toxicity. I have been predisposed to the toxicity. And now I'm over here putting it on other people. And now I'm needing to recognize what I've been doing all along, which is being avoidant by not expressing my feelings, my thoughts, and things to said person. And also, my solution to the whole thing was to, I'm done. And the person never knew that I had any problems, any feelings towards them in a negative way. It was unbeknownst to them. And yet because now I feel like I'm standing for Portia. I have to rid myself of this completely. I gotta step back. I gotta remove me because what you not gonna do is get me again. But it really wasn't even about them. It was about me and how I was showing up. I was being toxic by withholding information, important information, because it was about how I felt. But I didn't make you privy to it until it was too late, until I felt like I have to go. Avoid, 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 avoid. I have to avoid this. And because you've done it to me for this long, rephrase, mindset change, because I allowed you to, or allowed myself to show up this way for so long, now I want to rid myself of you. But I thought that was the right thing in that moment. I surely did. And so, anywho, um, when they turned the mirror back on me and I was able to see, oh, you didn't think about that, girlfriend. Oh, you thought you did that. You're the problem in this moment, in this particular area, not making a null and void for that person and how they were, giving me the information. That's not what I'm saying, but I have to take ownership and accountability and what I was doing as well and how I was showing up to them as well, right? I didn't give them space to correct their behavior because I never let them in on how I was truly feeling. And I really thought I was doing a good job at that. And no, I was not. So, avoided me has a hard time dealing with things. And that was one of the things, or people, situations. I do it all the time. I avoid because it seems easier in the moment, but it's much more detrimental in the long run. Now I'm privy to it, and now I'm gonna work through it. Okay. Another thing I recognized about me was I believe I've shared this with you guys before, that I neglect myself. And I say it even to the point, I neglect even feeding myself. And even though I love to eat, child, I love to eat. Okay. I still neglect myself because even in that scenario and in other scenarios, I neglect telling people how I feel because I avoid telling people how I feel because I'm neglecting my feelings and myself in those moments because, again, I'm thinking about how this other person is going to perceive me. But that is out of my control. I know I keep saying that, but I'm still trying to drill it through my thick ass head because I really feel like, okay, Portia, your feelings don't matter right now. This person is hurt, they're crying, they have been traumatized, they've been through child, they have been ran over by a car, hit by a bus, and punched in the face by a baby. You need to excuse their behavior and forget your own feelings. Forget what you're talking about, how you feel. Neglect, 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 avoid, avoid, avoid. Because it's easier. But who's giving you grace, Portia? Who sees that you are drowning too? Who sees that you've been traumatized? Who cares that you have been exposed at the nuclear plant? That doesn't matter, Portia. It doesn't matter if they see you or not. You see them. So that's the space you operate from. It doesn't make it right. You don't have to neglect you for anybody. I neglect myself for my kids. I neglect myself for me. I be so avoidant. I don't even want to deal with my own stuff because I know it's going to be hard. It's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be, in my negative mindset, traumatic, but it's not. It's going to help you. It's going to help you be better. It's going to help you see what you need to see. But I would rather avoid and neglect me because you don't matter that much, Portia. But I do. And again, I'm trying to drill this into my head that I matter. I am worth fighting for. Neglect and Portia should never be in the same sentence. I don't have to avoid me. I may avoid other things, and I'm not saying that that's right either. But why am I avoiding me? Why am I not talking to myself or dealing with myself? I'm that avoided that I can't even be intimate with myself. A lot of work that needs to be done, okay? Listen, I'm actively asking myself these questions and having these thoughts like, bruh, like, make it make sense. Another thing is uncompromising. And so this is toxic. I consider myself to be an uncompromising person. I feel like I'm always thinking about other people and their needs and wants and different things. But when I do get to my capacity, and I've reached my limit in certain situations and things, I can be very, and even not necessarily when I reach my limit, but I'll use that as an example. I can be very uncompromising because now I've made a decision. This is where I'm at, and this is what it is. And you're not going to change my mind because I feel like you trying to talk me out of me doing what I need to do necessary for me to move forward. And that may not even be the case, but I have made up in my mind that this is what it is, and this is what I'm going to stand on. And yeah, it can make me show up very uncompromising. I mean, I told y'all before I am a leader, natural born leader, and I feel like I've been very uncompromising a lot of times. Even when I think back to my marriage, I thought I was compromising, but it was always some sort of manipulation to it. To be honest, I'm just gonna lay it out like it is. I'm manipulating you, your mind, to sway the way that I want you to sway because I know what I'm talking about. And I got this thing figured out. You, on the other hand, not so much. I can't trust that you do. So I'm gonna control this by manipulating and it's me being uncompromising, right? I'm not allowing other people the space because I've made up in my mind that this is what it is. And that's not cool. I talk about it all the time. I don't want to be manipulated by nobody. I don't want to be controlled by anybody. I don't want to be, I want somebody in all my relationships to be compromising. I don't want to be any negative trait, but they're still there, loud and proud. So it's another thing I have to work on and working through how to be more compromising. and not so quick or impulsive. I don't think I'm really impulsive, but again, when I've kind of made up my mind about something, I'm going to pull the trigger on it and be like, hey, this is where I'm at. This is what it is. Any questions? Okay, thank you. Because I don't really care. Like I've made it to that point of this thing. Um, because I've decided to take a stance for me for once. And so since I'm here, I have to stand in it. If I'm the only one on the island, I'll be the only one on the island. You see the next period. But no, I have to learn how to be more compromising. Another thing, another toxic trait of mine, I'm an overthinker. Because I am so goddamn avoidant, I'm over here overthinking every little thing. Like, ooh, they bought me some M&Ms. Why did they buy me some M&Ms? Because they think I'm fat? Well, you are fat. So they trying to tell me I'm fat without telling me I'm fat. And then why would they buy me the shareable bag? Because they know I'm gonna bang this whole bag in one set. Like, why would they do that? They just really think I'm like some big fat beast. But I am some big fat beast. Girl, you love food. You love eating. You love doing all the things with the food. Mm-hmm. Oh, I want a steak and potatoes right now. Yeah. Man, they really think I'm trash. They really don't see me. They don't value. They want to keep me in this spot. They want to keep me in this place. Dang. I don't think they really like me. Why would they do that? Why would you buy me a gift and then you didn't mean well for me? Do you really love me or do you not love me? I think they do really love me. I wonder why they showed it this way. I'm not even worth you spending that little $3.49 on that bag of candy. Why would you even give me that? Ugh, I don't like feeling this way. I don't like that. Like, what? Let me call my friend and see what she think. Girl, you know, right? Right? You doing too much, Portia. Baby, I'll be running that thing through the ringer. Okay. I'll be overthinking. And it always lands me in the same position majority of the time. Me avoiding some shit. I just kind of put the thought in the back of my head that this is how they felt and or this is what that meant. And I don't ask the questions. And I just kind of take it and be like, okay, well, noted. Got it right here. So next time you do something, I'm going to bring it back and be like, oh, see, because they did that thing. So when they did buy me the M&Ms and now they bought me a scale, they trying to tell me, not acknowledging that I told them my scale stopped working, I can't weigh myself, blah, 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 blah. This is all hypothetical, okay? I can't weigh myself, and they were just doing a nice gesture. No, you did it because you think I'm fat, and you want to feed my fat ass, but you also want me to lose some weight. I see you. I see. I put two and two together. I'm an investigator. I should have been a detective. Bruh, I know I'm not alone. I am an overthinker and super toxic. Super toxic because with overthinking comes projection. You over there creating whole scenarios, universes, multiverses, all types of things, timelines, and it's none of that. And think about all the energy you're wasting just stressing your mind, your brain out about something that ain't even important. It wasn't even that. You tripping. But in that moment, you couldn't tell me nothing. I am showing up toxic still. Okay. So I say all that to say, listen, I'm combat all of these things by first and foremost evaluating the situation, asking myself the questions, the necessary questions, and also standing in who I am. And if I do have a question, even if it is uncomfortable, even if it is annoying or bad, or even if it is going to be a difficult conversation or what have you, I should go into it with the thought of I am protected, I am loved, I am safe. And even if it is with an unsafe person or someone you consider you don't really trust or whatever, I can still walk in with my armor of God on into any scenario. I don't have to be avoidant. I need to face things head first. Like I'm imagining myself with the armor on, like in medieval times, fully loaded, helmet, everything, on the horse with the stick, and I'm gonna charge forward. Okay? Because me playing to the back and hoping they don't call my name, being avoidant, is not serving me. It is not serving me in any capacity. And I think sometimes even having a difficult conversations with people, like, you know what? I love you, but I'm not to love you from a distance. And that's okay. I mean, you give that person time and space to kind of like process what they feel and what, or maybe acknowledge what they may be doing and how they may be showing up or not. Like, I don't know. But that's between them and their God. But I've done my part by not avoiding the situation and kind of facing it head on. That's how I want to be. That's how I want to be. I don't want to show up toxic still. I want to show up healed. But that comes with work. That comes with necessary effort. Like really putting in that work. Because it doesn't come natural. Because I've been raised in a toxic environment, that's natural. That's normal. So now I have to create an abnormal environment, which will be healthy and be considered as normal. I got to flip the script, but that comes with work. But I'm willing and I'm able because God is able to do exceedingly, abundantly, above all we can ever ask or think. God is able to do just what he said he would do. He's gonna fulfill every promise to you. Don't give up on God, 'cause he won't give up on you. He's able. Hmm. Oh, he's able. If you don't feel like you're able, he's able. He can. He will help you show up healed. But you got to be willing to do the work. Faith without works is dead. I thank God that I can see these things and acknowledge these things. And even though I would love to come sit here and present like I'm so well put together, I got this thing figured out, I'm ready to help you heal because I've healed. I've told y'all from the very first episode that was never my intention. and it never will be me. I'm not here to misrepresent what healing looks like because it is not pretty. It is not fun. It is not you running through a field of daisies and the wind blowing in your hair. I'm so free as you process it. But you will get there because God is able. And if you want to, you have to put in that work. You're not running through a field of daisies effortlessly. You put it in work. You're exacerbating energy. You're doing some cardio. You're actually moving your muscles. You're not just sitting there and running through the field. No, you gotta actually put something into it. You gotta pump them arms. You gotta put some work into it. And it all starts here in your mind. If you put your mind to it, if you change the framework, if you rewire, you can do it. You can do it. Put your back into it. Next segment is some joy in my life. Okay, this is something I give you that is helping bring me joy daily, and right now, related to this particular topic, it is my tribe and my circle, my people whom I trust that can reflect the mirror back on myself, back to me, even though it doesn't always feel good. I know it is for my good. Okay. So shout out to my village, shout out to my tribe, shout out to my circle A, shout out to my app. I ain't got no more words. But anyway, thank y'all so much for always being willing and able to show me even when I don't see me. And I thank God that I am so open because one of the things I was going to put that I'm still like toxic with is me being closed off. But I honestly don't believe I'm closed off. I feel like parts of me have shut down, which I spoke towards before me rebuilding those areas. But because that's how I know I'm not closed off because I'm willing to rebuild those areas. I'm willing to allow the access to me in order to build that back up, right? So I'm grateful that I'm able to take constructive criticism and take other people's words and thoughts and views of me and not internalize them. It's such a blessing, like for real. Um, and I am using my discernment, and it feels good. It feels good to lean, depend, and trust on Him. Okay. And I thank God for my circle, my tribe, because they're bringing me joy daily. All right, this is the end of the podcast, and we're going to do my favorite segment, Speak Life. This is the segment where I leave you with a call to action for yourself, but not just for you, but for me as well, okay? Because we in this together. Anyway, so I'll leave you with these words to hold on to until next time, okay? Today's Speak Life affirmation is I will remove toxicity and no longer allow myself to create a negative environment in my life. Again, today's Speak Life affirmation is I will remove toxicity and no longer allow myself to create a negative environment in my life. You heard it, you say it, you write it down, and remind yourself to speak that thing and make it happen because life be life in us all. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for joining me for another installment of the Life Be Life and podcast with your host, Portia. Oh, y'all be great. Y'all be blessed. And I love you. See you next time.